All lies will be exposed. That's all. And anyone who takes that the wrong way, know why they take it the wrong way. The truth is the light.
I need to have another one of these.
Amen, amen.
Gee. I kind of.
This is way over the edge. Like we it's not even over the edge. We died already.
This is beyond the event horizon. Like we about to hit the vortex.
Yeah, we about to hit the vortex.
Yeah.
Boy, you looking like a milk dud. Nigga thought he was Michael Jordan. Boy, you looking like Blank Man. Boy, you looking like Lil Bill.
How you die does not redeem how you lived. You do not become a hero in your death when you are a weapon of the enemy in your life.
Well, negotiations, right? Politics.
And we're out of time. So you.
Hey, y'all, Gravity. Any day above ground, live it. Hope you're having a fantastic start to your Thursday. We seem to remember a certain phrase from a certain movie that should encapsulate what happened a few nights ago. Y'all know what I'm talking about. But if you don't, we'll play it again just so people will understand what we mean.
Just don't freeze when you see her.
What are you talking about? I never freeze.
Just don't freeze when you see her.
What's out? I did not realize my mic was not on. We're not going to do an intro today. We're going to get into it. I don't care. I froze like Pearl.
We deal with English, we deal with Outlish. Yeah, because English you speak in, and I speak out.
I was speaking out to the world. And I froze. But it's okay. We're going to have fun. You have all been introduced silently. We're going to get into the show. We're going to see these two white women yell at each other. And it's going to be fun. But we have to do the customary house cleaning. I'm trying to defrost because I froze like Pearl did.
Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is use permitted by copyright statutes that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use.
Now, let me go here. There's a growing concern.
Okay, so for context, this debate happened in Atlantic City. I believe it was on last Saturday. Now, they were the main event. And also for context, this stream that you're about to watch in total was almost 8 hours. I bullshit you not. For those who don't think I'm right there, if you could see it. 7 hours, 55 minutes, 43 seconds. They came on. They started their introductions at the 5 hours, 52 second minute, whatever the hell. They came on after 5 hours. There were like two other debates there. And this is hosted by Sam Tripoli, who is a racist. He's one of them racist journalists, and Gavin McGinnis, who we all know is a racist. So this was called Word War Debate. And this was their first event. Now, just for other context, a lot of channels that reacted to it got way more views than this did. So hopefully we can get on that plateau. But let's begin because we need to see Pearl freeze.
Get to work! I want to talk to Sam. What's that slutty novel you were talking about, Sam?
It's called the monster milking. The Minotaur milking.
You knew it.
But I didn't know it. I didn't know it. But I don't know. There's something about women milking cryptids out there, and all the ladies are reading it.
And Sam.
I haven't read it. I'm waiting for the movie to come out.
Oh, well, there you go.
Waiting
for the movie version.
There will be a movie version, and it will star all trans black lesbians.
Oh, my God.
one, why is their humor so dry? And number two, why are you bringing black people into this? Okay.
Maybe it was a mistake for me to ask you to put Sam on with me. Sam, I would think you would consider yourself a bit of a feminist.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah,
a little bit.
Okay, we don't care.
The Jews.
Let's get to the show.
Oh,
How are you gonna start talking about Jews? We don't care. Woo. So we're gonna use hip hop style beats. Okay, but hip hop is bad. It's destructive to the fabric of America. Okay. Why? Because it talks about politics in a way that people can hear the message while dancing to the beat. Okay.
And here goes the pyro.
And here comes Erica Kirk. Okay, Erica Kirk is in the building.
All right. I assume Pearl's gonna do it the same way, but while we're waiting for her to get down here, and I was gonna ask you real quick, like, how are you feeling right now?
Pretty good.
Do you
Happy
feel
to be
like
here.
You've waited long enough? Are you ready to get
I'm
out?
hyped. I'm super excited. Come on, let's get the energy up. Yeah, love it. I'm very happy to be here.
Yeah, absolutely. So we had a little interview earlier, and it didn't run. So I'll just ask you again, like, what do you think tonight is your best hope for swaying people in the crowd who might not be on your side?
I don't have a lot of hope, to be honest with you. But look, I love that we're having this conversation. I'm excited to scrap a little bit. And if anything, I know it's going to be entertaining.
All right, she said scrap a little bit, so let's get Pearl in here. Come on, Pearl. Here she comes.
You're a dickhead. I guess you don't understand what a joke is, but I understand your name is Peanut Doctor. You're a DEI. I understand. It's okay. What the hell? Why is she coming out looking like a Quaker? What is this? Look, even this white man's like, what are you wearing? What is this? She looks like a 1950s school teacher. And you sound like you have not become peanut butter. Why are you upset? Ain't you got to go figure out if you can make electricity by people putting two wires inside of you? Wait, don't answer that, because you might like to be double penetrated. Pause. It's okay. You can stay though. We're going to need your DEI doctor credentials for this. So it's okay. You can stay. That music is horrible, by the way. You must be, hey, he's bringing up GWC. Look at him. He thinks we don't know about Mr. Carver, one of the greatest inventors in this Earth's history. He thinks we don't know. We're black. We're all connected by a web. It's okay, though, sir, or ma'am, or it. It's okay. Shout out to him. Now shut up. Well, of course, GDS, there's nobody in there. I must be a pale skin. Oh, I must be a pale skin. We have black people in the room and he thinks I'm a pale skin. Oh, okay. And you must be one of them DEI black people who are trying to get on with the MAGA movement. It's okay. You want me to put in a referral for you? I know a few of them. Now shut up. He said, I hear the African accent. Well, let's teach you about America. Are y'all ready? Let's teach him one of the greatest things that ever came out of America.
Smoke wins. Flawless victory. Fatality.
Yes, Mortal Kombat 3. Are you talking about this one or this one? You're probably talking about this one. Well, he can be that in the background. This is going to be hilarious. They're going to do this. They're going to white girl rap.
This is an uppercut. It's not fucking rock. I'm top 2 and definitely not the runner. I ain't got the mojo, lots of bubbles and
All right, Pearl, welcome. I'm going to ask you the same question. If you're going to change somebody's mind tonight, one person, not one person, how are you going to do it?
I'm going to let the facts speak for themselves.
Fair enough. All
Keep
right.
pinning that.
Ladies and gentlemen, this debate, our main card, it has a little bit of a different format than what we did previously. We're going to have the opening statements for both of you. Those will be 5 minutes apiece. And then you'll each get 10 minutes
5-minute
to
opening
kind of
statement?
do an interrogatory of the other. That will go back and forth.
Where's
and then
the
after that, we'll go into
Jigglypuff?
open debate. As you saw with some of the other debates earlier, we try to let the other person answer. I'll try to jump in as I can, but for the most part, I want you all to mix it up. All right? Have fun with it.
All right, I got it loaded.
And who is first?
I'm first.
I thought so. Anna, take it away. We got 5 minutes.
In a May 2024 appearance on Tim Pool's Culture War podcast, my opponent, Pearl Davis, declared that women aren't really doing much. We're not having kids. We're not really contributing to the economy when you look at output. In fact, she uses this ridiculous assertion to argue that women should not have the right to vote. While it's true the birth rate has declined, and we'll revisit that in a bit, women account for 47% of the American workforce. The Council of Economic Advisors found that women have contributed a substantial portion of the US economic growth since 1970, which wouldn't have been made possible without the feminist movement. By 2017, women were responsible for nearly 40% of total gross domestic product, amounting to a whopping $7.6 trillion. Of course, that figure doesn't include the trillions of dollars in unpaid labor women do every year, tending to the household, raising children, and caring for ailing parents.
I didn't realize that that's a labor of love that you needed to be paid for. You might as well become a CNA then, if you wanted to do that, or HHA. Are y'all serious right now? I need you women to stop using that point, okay, that you guys are taking care of the house and all that, and you're not being paid for it. You could be on the street. Okay, you could be cat ladies. Us men submitted to you enough to put the ring on it and ask you not to go out there in that feverishly deviant world. And we wanted you to, with us as assistants, based on the man, to raise the next generation. I need y'all to stop saying that. And also with this parent point, they're your parents. As they get older, they're going to need your help more. Yes, I understand that it's hard because they're old and they have needs that may go beyond your capacity, but that's what you're supposed to do as a human being. You're supposed to take care of each other. I need y'all to stop saying that. And Anna, you wrong for this because you have no kids, but we're going to let you rock because it's your opening statement. So maybe you'll say something smart later. Let's go.
And when it comes to certain sectors of our economy, women are a dominant and indispensable force, like in the healthcare industry, where they make up nearly 80% of workers, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics. That's 16.4 million women. When it comes to education, in 1960, women earned less than 35% of all bachelor's degrees. Today, they earn roughly 58% of all bachelor's degrees, which Pearl herself benefited from after graduating from Elmhurst University. Women also earn over 60% of master's degrees. I hope to hear Pearl explain how a more educated and skilled population somehow translates to cultural decline, especially as we compete with China in this increasingly multipolar world. The modern feminist movement also had a major impact on decreasing domestic violence, and that's according to the US Department of Justice. Rates of intimate partner violence decreased by more than 60% from 1994 to 2010. And that's thanks to protective order statutes and funding for shelters beginning in the 1970s and 80s. Not only did the two-income household become more financially resilient, especially during economic downturns, women gained the ability to leave abusive relationships, an outcome correlated with improved child health and educational attainment. A culture that protects people from violence is not one that's indicative of cultural decline. Pearl herself has benefited greatly from the feminist movement, thanks to Title IX in 1972, signed by Nixon, of course. Sex-based discrimination in any school program or activity that receives federal funding is prohibited. Pearl herself had a rather impressive record playing for Elmhurst University's volleyball team, having earned all conference honors as a senior. She later pursued professional volleyball in London. She could have stayed in the United States and served in her role as a traditional woman, but she didn't. And she could have been the traditional chaste woman living out her dream of everything women were supposed to do before feminism. But she is neither traditional nor chaste by her own admission. While feminists would have no problem with her personal choices, she has made a career bashing women for theirs. Critics often argue that modern feminism has weakened families and resulted in a lower birth rate. They tend to dismiss empirical evidence demonstrating the insidious impact of the internet, social media on modern relationships. They also brush economic instability under the rug, despite young people citing their personal finances as the main reason why they're holding off on marriage in the first place. In lieu of discussing those factors, Pearl spends much of her time.
Because that's a cop-out, because they don't know how to talk to each other. They're talking to them as they're talking to them on the internet. They don't know how to interact with people. That's why they lash out when people tell them no. Or they think people don't understand who they are. That's y'all's fault. See, real parents teach their kids how to talk to people. And we don't use internet slang. But that's okay. Y'all want to be cool. I get it.
Time discouraging men from getting married in the first place. During her debate with Trent Horn, she declared that men are better off shacking up without ever getting married. Her reasoning? Women are too fat and STD infected.
25%, that's a lot.
You did say that. And STD infected.
25%.
Women are too fat and STD infected.
25%, that's a lot.
You did say that. She didn't stop to think about how they contracted the STDs in the first place. Boring. Data from the National Library of Medicine show that modern men are just as promiscuous as modern women. Men and women are in bad shape.
Wow, thank you for stating the obvious. Wow.
And in the United States, we can discuss why, but feminism is not the reason.
Very good. Thank you. Nice job. Okay. Pearl, you got 5.
Do y'all think she was white girl rapping? I don't know. She was sitting there kissing her ass more than trying to go after her points. I mean, it was like 50-50.
This is an uppercut. It's not fucking up. I'm top 2 and definitely not the runner.
Ha ha. Joke's on you.
I don't think she was white girl rapping. But go ahead.
5 minutes. You're going to be on the clock, and let's go.
Most debaters and commentators are elitists.
Oh,
So
hell
average
no.
American-
No. I ain't finna listen to this dry shit for about 5 minutes. No. She got to get either some bass in her voice, or she got to get some of that what they call it, that ghost in her. Come on now. Because she can't have soul because she's not black. Why are you reading? Where's the passion? Keep a pin in that. And you're going to see why later. Keep a pin in that. Go ahead.
From their ivory towers, what to think and how to feel. My answer to this question not only comes from covering current events and researching the facts, data, and statistics, but also in my professional experience interviewing over 1,000 people in America and Western nations. Feminism has given women power, and power corrupts. And that's what's happening. Feminism is robbing men of their disposable income and their prime earning years. Feminism has empowered women. It has empowered women to be sexually promiscuous. Feminists say that they fought for women to not subject themselves to the approval of men. Why then are 5 to 10% of women between the ages of 18 to 25 on OnlyFans or other prostitution websites? There are more online prostitutes in America than female Walmart employees. 1 of 3 women will catch an STD at some point in their lifetime. 90% will catch HPV, which is incurable. Feminism has empowered women to abort 1/8 of the world population and 1/3 of Gen Z. Feminists have been so empowered to commit paternity fraud. Paternity fraud is unpunished in any state in the USA or any country in the West. If done correctly, a man will have to pay for a child he was fooled into believing was his until that child reaches maturity. In some states, that man will also have to pay for that kid's college. That is slavery and is forbidden under the 13th Amendment. 1/3 of paternity tests are negative by the American Association of Blood Banks. Feminism has empowered women to rob men of their time, their resources, their reputation, their children, and in the most extreme cases, their lives. They do this.
I'm guessing she probably had to go to the bathroom the way she was reading that quick. All right. My God.
Through child support, alimony.
Damn, she's still talking.
False allegations and paternity fraud. How many people in this arena have a brother, a father, an uncle, or a friend who has gone through this meat grinder? Anna has been on the air for 15 years and is completely oblivious to these issues. It's a silent genocide of the lives of millions of men. Standing on the sidelines of the arena, I have 33-year combat veteran Terrence Popp. He served through 3 wars and was almost killed in 2. He got married, had 2 children, and served in the United States Army. Terrence Popp was deployed to Iraq in 2004, and as a member of the airborne infantry, he was wounded by a roadside bomb and suffered a TBI and a stroke from the blast. He was evacuated out of the country, and it took over 2 years until he had recovered. While he was recovering, his wife was plotting to divorce him. His wife murdered his 6-year-old chocolate lab out of spite because he filed for divorce first. When he confronted her, the response he got was, "I told you I did not want you living here." At this point, he was forced to leave the marital home and live out of his car.
Why would you do that? Why would you do that? Why would you embarrass a veteran like that? All right. I see where this is going.
Divorce took away his home, his children, and left him penniless and saddled with a child support payment he could not afford. Terrence had to pay $144,000 over a 12-year period for a divorce that his wife was empowered by feminists to plan and execute. Terrence went into court to fight for 50-50 custody. Terrence was called a murderer and an assassin in open court and was given 96 hours a month with his children. 96 hours a month is not a father. While homeless, he spoke to many other men who would never get off the streets due to child support arrearages and penalties, and the men constantly getting arrested for unpaid child support. The disparage of losing his children and his home, and his PTSD and constant pain from his wounds, he became suicidal. While at his post in 2008, a former commander of his came to see him to secretly say his last goodbyes. The next day, Mr. Popp's former commander put on his dress blues and went to the Holy National Veteran Cemetery and blew his brains out. Terrence Popp was notified of the death and was shocked because he was planning to commit suicide in the exact same manner. So in effect, his former commander took the bullet that was meant for him. Terrence Popp decided he would not kill himself and has spent the last 20 years saving 576 men from suicide with comedy. If you look to the left of the stage, Terrence is holding the dog tags for every life that he has saved. Now, why am I telling you this? Shout out to Terrence, yeah. Now, why am I telling you this? Because men and American veterans are put in this position because of the empowerment that feminists like Anna have pushed for. There are millions of men that have died in this country from the political power that feminism pushes. Since 1970, an estimated 1.6 million men have committed suicide.
Time. Stop it.
Time.
If feminists cared about equality, why aren't they fighting for equality and divorce and family court as hard?
Hold on. Why y'all letting her still go if you yell time? Y'all see, you already see what the agenda is, right? They're already starting the bullshit. You see how they don't want to have structured debates?
You know how long I've been waiting for this? Woo, I'm about to make a name for myself here.
gonna equal up to this real shit.
Yeah, fuck that nigga talking about. Fuck that nigga talking about.
Come on, let's get to the show.
As they are fighting for abortion, working, or becoming sex workers. Thank you.
Okay, this is gonna be.
Why Sherry look angry? She's already angry. She's all right. This is gonna be good. Go ahead.
It's gonna be a heavy one. We're gonna go now.
You ain't lied about heavy
the
with
opening
Pearl.
interrogations. We have 10 minutes. Do we have it on the clock? Yeah, it's fading in right there. Okay, and take it away. 10 minutes.
Who's interrogating who?
Whoever wants to begin.
Aside from the specific anecdote that you shared, which of course is tragic, can you cite some actual studies that look at the statistics and back up what you say in regard to the outcomes of marriage and divorce in America?
41% of 109 rape cases reported to police in a Midwestern city were admitted to be false by complainants.
In one Midwestern city? And which Midwestern city was that?
You know, you can go from your ivory tower and
I'm
tell
not in an
people what
ivory
to
tower.
think
I'm
and
on
how
this
to
debate
feel.
stage interrogating your assertions, and you've only provided an anecdote.
Right.
Because if you look at the data, which I did, of course, you'll find that women are twice as likely to fall into poverty after divorce.
Right, because they can't
Alimony
stop
is paid
spending.
out in 10% of divorces. According to the Census Bureau, the average child support payment is $441 a month, and only 60%
Right, but how
of
much are
those
they
payments
making?
get paid out.
How much?
Women do not get child custody 90% of the time, as you have asserted before. In fact,
Get your notes together. Woo!
God damn it! You can't make this shit up.
Let's get it. I like it.
95% of custody cases are mutually agreed upon outside of the courtroom. Women get full custody 40% of the time. Men do get full custody 20% of the time. And 40% of the time, it's shared custody, which I think is the ideal situation, assuming that neither spouse is abusive.
And Hey, Pearl, excuse me, before you respond, if you could take your microphone out and hold it, it would be easier to hear you.
Okay. Alimony and medical care and dental are not covered by that, so a lot of times it does go above 50%. Again, you can go through the facts, the data, and the statistics and manipulate them any way that you want.
It's not
But
manipulation.
There are
Those are the
1.6
stats.
million. There are 1.6 million men in this country. Men are 9 times more likely to commit suicide after a divorce.
Huh? What did she just say?
The statistics and manipulate them any way that you want.
It's not
But
manipulation.
There are
Those are the
1.6
stats.
million. There are 1.6 million men in this country. Men are 9 times more likely to.
There's only 1.6 million men in this country? Huh? There's only 1.6 million men in this country. And men, by them stats, we should be having 4 women at least. We should have 4 wives at least. What is she talking about? She's already flustered.
Is she stupid or is she dumb? Because I think she might be both.
To commit suicide after a divorce.
Compared to women, what's the number for women?
It's lower.
Really? What is it? Comparative analysis is real difficult for you, isn't it?
Okay.
Oh my God. Ed out here, white girl rapping.
This is an uppercut. It's not fuck 'em up. I'm top 2 and definitely not the runner. I ain't got the mojo, lots of bubbles and
Bruh, how is she? Bruh, they barely started and she cooking her. How? This is what you lived for, ma'am. You love to debate, motherfucker. This is the chick, the one on the left. This is the chick who went after Candace Owens, and we know Candace Owens love to argue. She got cooked by Candace, but she at least held her own. She was talking to her for like 2 days. You in front of this Armenian and you can't put your notes together. You can't make sure your thoughts are cogent. What is going on?
What the hell was that?
She froze already. She's freezing already. And this isn't even the viral clip. Wait a minute. We gotta keep it loaded up, family. I closed the tab. We gotta keep this up.
What are you talking?
Just don't freeze when you see her.
You're freezing. It is not that hard to be in a debate. No, Miss Nisi, this is not the funny part. We haven't even got there yet. Pearl is finding out right now that the internet is not a real place. No, for those that are asking, this is not the viral moment.
Go ahead, Pearl.
What's your next question?
You have asserted that men shouldn't get married, that instead they should
I didn't
shack
say
up.
that.
You did say that with
did
Trent
not say
Horn, word for word. You said it makes more sense for them to shack up, live with a girlfriend instead of getting married. Do you think the advice that you give to men is the type of
Right, but you just lied and said you didn't say that. Now you're saying right. Okay, keep going.
advice that will fulfill their lives? Because I'll tell you one thing, the best part of my life is my husband. I love my husband. He's my rock. He's my foundation. And no, my husband is number one. I love my career, but you know what my career did? When I met my husband, my career was already established. He, on the other hand, was couch surfing. He was in debt and didn't know what he wanted to do with his life. I married him anyway. You want to know why? Because I had the economic freedom to marry for love, not for some Chad to take care of me.
How tall is he?
Oh, he's 6'1", about your height.
Oh, shit. Oh. Now it's getting bad. Now it's getting good. Woo!
None. I don't want kids.
Let's not do.
I don't want kids. Well, I mean, you're damn near 50, so I mean, your clock already over. But I know why you don't want kids, because even though you say you had the economic freedom to marry for love, you met somebody broke and you were afraid that if you married him and you gave him kids, he's going to revert back to who he really was when you met him. And you would have to fund him, and you didn't want to do that. You were looking out for your uncle. I mean, that's cool and all. That's cool. I respect it. But don't act like you say you don't want kids, because you even admitted saying that it's economically not feasible to have kids even though you are a millionaire. Let's not do that. We know the reason.
Shouting questions from there, please. Allow these two to debate each other.
You should have stopped the clock.
I mean, you don't really have much to answer, so I don't know what else to ask you. Do you think you're helping men by discouraging them from entering fulfilling marriages?
What happens to men if they don't pay child support?
There you go. She didn't want to answer that question. What do you mean what happens to men when they pay child support? What do you think happens, madam? Yes, we'll have more problems. Yes. We'll have less money. Yes. Going to be a struggle. Men that do that understand that. But they do it because they want to make sure their kids have great lives. See, y'all never bring that up.
I mean,
what happens? What happens, Anna?
How many men do you think get arrested? I don't know what the number is, but the idea that there's like a huge number of men getting arrested for not doing what they're supposed to do
15%
and take care of their children, It's not a huge issue.
What happens to men when they don't
Really,
pay child support?
only 60% of child support payments get paid out.
You got to allow her to interrogate you, not them. You got to stop yelling questions at her.
Fact.
You can minimize men's problems all you want, but I don't think you understand how privileged of a position you're in.
In what way? How am I privileged?
Men are the ones that are on the hook for child support. Men are the ones that are on the hook for alimony. It's easy for you to tell men to just take the risk when you're not in that position.
So are you asserting that men shouldn't pay child support following a divorce? Do you believe that women should be financially responsible 100% after divorce?
Wanted to.
No, and I know a lot of ladies are going to get mad at me for saying this. I think it should just be one payment. I don't think it should be separate payments. Especially if you had the kids during the marriage. I think it should be one payment. You pay once. Coughing out three bills, that's crazy. But, you know, it's our system, so.
To be equal. So I say be equal. If you guys want equality, 50-50 custody, no child support, no alimony, no special privileges.
Alimony is paid out in 10%
it doesn't
of
matter
divorces.
If you're part of the
it does
10%.
matter. It does matter because you make it seem like it's a widespread issue when it's only 10%.
The doctrine is a sexist law against men. That's sexist.
How is it
so fight it. Go fight it. Stop going online talking shit. Go out there, go in the law libraries, hit the books, figure out how to defeat the law.
Sexist. If a woman decided to forego a career, decided to be a stay-at-home mother, and the marriage doesn't work out, she has no job, she has no income, so you think it's unfair to get support from her ex-husband so she can raise the kids?
60%,
so she can pay.
60% of kids under 5 have daycare. Daycare is an option now. You wanted to—
Oh God, daycare is an option. Daycare is an option. You see what they're doing? Daycare. Pearl, maybe you forgot a lot of people don't trust daycare now, especially with them stories coming out of these people beating on these kids. People don't trust daycare because they keep raising rates. You think anybody could just go and, okay, I'm going to put my kid in daycare and find out it's like $800 a week. You think people can afford that, especially in this economy? It's a privilege to have your wife or your husband stay home and you guys can still make your bills and make sure your kids are raised correctly through their formative years of life. Yes. Just stick them in daycare. Okay.
to be men.
Do you know how much daycare costs?
You wanted to be men. Here
Do you know how much daycare costs? Do you think it's free?
Let her answer.
A lot of things are expensive, Anna. I mean, it's
that's,
men.
That's not an answer.
Women have 85% of consumer spending. Women spend money all the time. You spend money on hair dye. You spend money on Botox. You spend money.
Keep going.
Think about it.
On Botox. You spend money.
You should think about it.
On the
son.
This is an uppercut. Stop fucking up. I'm top 2 and definitely not the runner. I ain't got the mojo, blocks and bubbles and
son. I see why Pearl's gonna say what she says later. Well, let me help you, Pearl, since you want to say that all women do is just spend money and they should think about spending money for daycare. As Miss Nisi pointed out, if you have a support system, you don't have to worry about that. Now, do you? See, when the little one was small and both of us had to work, guess what? I watched her one day on my day off. Her brother, my wife's brother, watched her one day and she'd pick her up after work. Her best friend picked her up and watched her. My mom watched her, picked her up, and went and watched her. And this was during the summer, so that was a blessing. And one of my sisters watched her 5 days a week, and my wife was home on the weekend while I was working. That's a blessing. When you have a support system, you don't have to worry about daycare. See how that works? Just stick them in daycare, though. Okay. Stick them in daycare.
I prayed for this and it happened.
I sure am.
That was her opening.
You spend money all of the time. Yep. So you wanted to be men. Here it is. You're equal. Pay for daycare.
Equality means that when you have a child or children, you're both responsible. So the idea that the woman should take 100% of the costs on herself without any help from her husband or ex-husband is ridiculous.
That's not the point. See, she did it again. No, the point is you're getting money from the other side. You're supposed to use the majority of it to make sure that the lifestyle you had stays afloat. And mostly it's because of the children, not you. The reason why alimony and child support gets a bad rap because we watch women take that and fund a better lifestyle and the kid is not getting the lion's share of the money. That's why. And Anna, you know that. I know what you're doing. It's not slick. You're trying to cater for women to get as much money as they can from the system. You're low-key trying to show that women are irresponsible. You're low-key saying that, but you know, them people in the audience, they not picking up on that because, you know, that's Trump's base. But go ahead.
How is that fair?
Well, how is it fair that he doesn't get 50-50 custody?
Well, first of all,
fair point.
Why are you asserting that they don't?
It's 50% his.
Because you know it's not 50-50. You know that, Anna. Don't do that. You're starting to lose. Don't do that. You know it's not 50-50. You know that. How is it 50-50 if the goddamn guy can only see the kid every other weekend? How is that 50-50? 8 to 10 times a month versus 20. How is that 50-50? Come on now. You know better than this.
DNA. Why can't he have 50% custody? Where
there
has
was a study.
I've been
Let me answer your question, even though I
different-
should be interrogating you. I'll answer your question. Massive study out of Massachusetts that looked at 24,000 divorces. In those 25 divorces, they found that in only 8% of cases did men ask for custody. 8%.
Right, because the average American can't afford.
Because they know they're not going to get it. And she was talking about full custody. They know she's not going to get it. That he's not going to get it. She knows that. A man going into court asking for full custody, you know the court going to laugh him most times out of the courtroom. Even when the man shows that they have the lifestyle and they have the means to take care of that child. Come on now. We're not going to do this. But I get it. She a liberal. So I understand. The reason why they don't want men to have full custody is because the court won't get paid. That's why.
Or divorce fees, Anna.
But women
it
can
costs
afford to raise the
$25,000
children
to get
by
a
themselves
divorce.
without support from the ex-husband. How does that make sense?
What did you say? I didn't hear you. We were both talking.
You're complaining about the costs while simultaneously arguing that a woman should not get child support in order to raise the children that the former couple had together.
Are you guys equal or not? You want to
Yes, equality means that you're both responsible
50
for raising the children, and that includes the
so
costs
you should have
of raising the
equality,
children.
but not at the expense of men. 50-50 custody, 50-50, no child support, no alimony. That's equality. You don't want
Alimony
equality.
makes sense if
You
the
want-
woman was
you
a
want-
stay-at-home mother and doesn't have a source of income. How else would she take care of the kids following a divorce?
By getting a job just like the men.
So you're saying that a woman who doesn't have recent job history, is just going to willy-nilly enter the job force or workforce, I should say, and easily get hired. Do you guys care about this? So do you care about the children or not? Because you're making this about like the poor husband, the poor ex-husband who doesn't want to pay the child support, doesn't want, to take on any of the responsibilities of having children in the first place. Why is it that you seem to have a problem with men carrying out their responsibilities? But when it comes to
men are dying to care about their responsibilities. Men are fighting to be a part of their kids' lives.
What's the empirical data on that?
What? Ma'am, don't do that. Don't do that. The empirical data is how many men are single fathers. There's your empirical data. I can't believe Anna said that. Whoo. And I hope y'all understand this is why they don't want to talk to us, because we're going to come out with points like that and they ain't going to have no answer.
I don't need data. How many people in here have
had
a family or a friend fight for their kid and not be able to get it? The reason that this happens, Anna, is because lawyers tell them not to fight because it's so expensive and they won't win.
What is that based on?
What do you mean?
You have to provide, look, Pearl.
The courts. How the courts have ruled over the years, madam. That's what it's based on. As somebody said, you have to prove that the mom is unfit to even have a shot. Come on now, you know better than that. Again, they want men to pay the child support because they know that's easy monthly income for the courts for their fees. They know that. Having men have more of a percentage of getting their kids and funding their development, family court would be out of business. They would have to hire more people to spy on men to try to find a violation, which is going to be a whole nother albatross they don't want to open up. So it's better just to give it to the woman and the guy pays. And we've been conditioned to pay. That's why every time a man gets sole custody and the woman got to pay, it feels like a victory lap. And then you have online these heated conversations about what's right and wrong in that scenario. You know better than that, Anna, but I get it though.
I am open to be convinced, but I need more than anecdotes. I need more than vibes and feelings, because we're talking about something serious here. We're talking about raising children. We're talking about the shared responsibility of raising children. That, of course, includes
90% of disputed custody goes to women. That's not equal.
90%, that's a totally made up statistic. Where are you citing that from?
Somebody said,
our time actually ran up. Those opening interrogations are over. Let's take a moment here. You guys want to grab a sip of water? All right. The next step is going to be 30 minutes. We're going to open it up. Again, open debate. I'd remind you guys, I know everyone's passionate about this. I get that. But we can't have multiple people debating at the same time, right? We got one debater here. We got one debater here. Let's keep it here. All right. Let's put 30 minutes on the clock and let's begin the open debate. Pearl, I'll let you pick up here. Go ahead.
What happens to men when they don't pay child support?
There are consequences for it, especially when there's a court order for them to carry out their responsibility and pay child support so that child can be raised.
Huh? No, they go to jail, man. They get a warrant put out on their arrest. Their stuff is put in arrears. That's what that means. Consequences. Tell us what the consequences are, since you want to argue this point. You should know the consequences.
And what happens?
Do you think there shouldn't be legal responsibilities or legal consequences if they fail to carry out a court order to, take care of their kids?
I've interviewed men that have paid millions of dollars in.
Don't care about your interviews. Anecdotal evidence doesn't matter. What I need is.
What the fuck? She's giving you actual. Oh no, Anna, that's not anecdotal. That's actual evidence. Oh no, she's starting to lose it. A man showing you the stubs of them taking money out of his paycheck, that's anecdotal to her. Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Actual statistic, empirical evidence.
His paycheck is empirical evidence.
They should pay their child support. $441
What happens?
is the average child support payment. $441 a month.
Yeah, that's for someone that makes $24,000 a year.
You just told me a woman can just go to work and take care of the kids totally by herself.
How does a guy live when he's paying $500 a month on $24,000 a year?
You think $500 a month is too much in child support? Do you know how much it costs to raise a child? Do you know how much
Anna,
child
you
care costs,
lied.
for instance?
Anna, you lied. You lied. It's not 441, it's 430. You lied. And that depends on the state. See, you didn't put that in your testimony as well. It depends on the state. Y'all got to be careful when they talk stats like that, because they think that's just broad. Just because it's an average does not mean that it's for everybody. You know, each state is different. You know, in California, they go crazy. You know, in New York, they go crazy. Even some southern states, they go crazy. Don't do that. For those who don't believe me, it's right here. The average monthly child support payment in the United States is approximately $430, but this amount can vary significantly based on factors such as parental income, the number of children, and specific circumstances. In North Carolina, child support is calculated using guidelines that consider each parent's income and other expenses related to the child. And these are from law firms, so please don't do that. Tell the whole thing. Even if it defeats part of your argument, tell the whole thing. Thank you so much. White on white crime. Get to work. Now, we ain't lose too much yet. We ain't lose too much yet. We will soon. We will soon.
Instance. I mean, that mother has to go to work, right? Where's the kid going to stay while that mother is working?
Where
How is
your
she gonna
mom
pay for
at?
the
What happens to men when they don't
daycare?
pay child support?
Sorry, say that again.
What happens to men when they don't pay child support?
There are legal repercussions for
Like
not
what?
carrying out a court
Okay.
mandate
Do you think
to
that
do something.
Do you think that fraud should be illegal?
Absolutely.
Okay. So why is it not illegal for women to fraud men on paternity? If a man does not find out he's the father over the age of 2, he is on the hook for child support for 18 years.
I don't know
Where
what the
have you
law
been on
is
this
when it
issue?
comes to
A
that,
third-
but it's
a-
wrong. If you're lying up,
There's no law. That's the answer. There's no law. They want it to be a law. But that's more of a state law. You got to go to your state legislatures and argue that. You're not going to get that federally. We already know that.
paternity, that is wrong, and there should be legal consequences
why
for
haven't
that.
feminists fought?
It's that simple.
Then why aren't feminists fighting for it, Anna?
Because feminists fight for women, obviously.
Right. That's my point.
Yeah.
At the expense of men.
That was a good point.
You guys want to believe women at the expense of men. Why isn't Amber Heard in jail? Because of the Me Too movement. You guys push believing all rape victims, and now we have rape.
Amber Heard had to pay out a massive settlement.
Yeah.
What exactly was Amber Heard going to go to jail for? Hitting him? That's what she was going to go to jail for, hitting him. She had to pay this man. She paid this man. She had to pay this man $15 million. I don't see what the problem is. Okay, he had to give her $2. I'm sure he paid that off. She has to pay him $15 million. That's why you don't hear her no more. Ever since Aquaman 2, you haven't heard her anymore. They don't want to touch it. So I don't understand where you trying to go with this. Did you really think they were going to put Amber Heard in jail?
But why isn't she in jail?
You want her in jail?
Yes.
Well,
She ruined
the
his
penalties
life.
for defamation.
She really
are
didn't
what
ruin
the
his
court's
life.
decision is, right? You want people to go to prison for defamation?
He had to go to 2 different countries to clear his name. Why
okay.
isn't she in jail? He lost millions of dollars.
To be clear, you think the penalty for defamation is prison time?
I think the penalty for a false accusation is that the woman should get the same time that he would have gotten if he was found guilty.
Men don't go to prison for defamation.
And see, this is the problem with feminists. You want all these freedoms, but you won't actually be equal.
I do
Be
want
equal.
equality.
No, if you wanted to be equal, you would fight for 50-50 child support, no alimony.
No alimony. So again, if a woman decided to forego working, decided to stay home to raise the children, and the marriage doesn't work out, she's got no.
But see, Anna, see, again, I want y'all to watch. Words have meaning. Her staying home was a 50-50 decision, right? So that would mean she would have to bear half of the responsibility if it don't work out. Oops. Just like she would have to handle half the responsibility if that man lost his job. They would have to come together and figure out the solution. It can't just be a 50% solution. Just like if he says, we're not making enough and we're starting to fall behind, you might have to go back to work. They're going to have to sit down and have a 50-50 conversation. But I understand why Anna's saying that, because she's making most of the money in the house.
Income whatsoever. She doesn't deserve any
Women aren't
alimony.
even doing that. Number one, that's not even a women are not staying home with the kids. And number two, you have daycare.
A lot of women
You
do
have-
these days.
You
actually.
have daycare.
The traditional
Again.
women who want to stay home, they want to be traditional wives, and you trash them all the time, which I don't understand.
if
It
feminists
seems like
cared
women
about
can't do anything
equality,
right when it comes to you, right?
If
They're
feminists-
stay-at-home moms. They're traditional.
Most of those women that are doing that are just there to spike up their husbands. That's it. We know that. They use that as a tool to say, I broke my man. Well, we're not going to do that. Let's not do that. Especially them conservative chicks over there talking about how they want to be trad wives. That's just a feminist move. I said it. Them conservative chicks are nothing but feminists.
I understand that you can personally attack me. That's
I'm not personally attacking you.
Okay.
These are things that
You literally did earlier. You said she needs Botox, but go ahead.
you have said on the record multiple times.
But if you cared about equality, you would care about false accusations. You would
I do care about false accusations.
No,
yep.
you don't.
You don't know me. You don't know what I care about.
Look, all right. Let's talk about rights that men do not have. Men do not have the right to be enlisted in selective service. You know, we have 125K men who were drafted and buried overseas. Think about that over a second. You talk about the oppressions of the past, but how many men died in World War I and World War II and had no choice? And yet Anna complains about oppression. Men do not have the right to face their accuser in court when they have a false allegation and for personal protection orders that strips constitutional rights away from the man. Women go before a judge and say they don't feel safe, and more than likely a PP order will be issued. The man was not in court, had no say, has no defense, and does not get to face his accuser. That is
Because most times, if you're going to do that, they go in there on the sneak. I could do that with a woman too. I can go in there and put a PPO. And if I have enough evidence, yeah, they'll send it to her. But we're not going to do that. Come on. Come on. So this is more about the problem of the court, not men versus women. Y'all should be arguing the validity of the courts. But we know that's way above y'all's pay grades and your hotness meters. But, go ahead.
is done en masse, and many servicemen and first responders lose their careers over this because it strips a man's Second Amendment rights away based on no evidence. Men
Where are
do
you
not
getting
have the
that
right to
information
raise
from?
their children. Divorce is no fault, but when it comes to child custody, it's always the man's fault. He loses his children to the system. 96 hours a month the father does not make. Men have longer prison sentences. Women get a third of the time for the same crime. Where are the feminists fighting for equality on that issue? There has been rampant discrimination against better qualified men in hiring across multiple industries. Men pay more child support, and child support orders are not enforced at the same rates between men and women. Women are more likely
women pay
not
child
to
support.
pay
Fascinating.
and are prosecuted for non-payment at lower rates. Men cannot opt out of parenthood. Men have very few domestic violence shelters and are not taken seriously when they're domestic violence victims.
I agree on that. I do
White
agree
men
on
in
that.
particular are discriminated against when it comes to hiring and educational attainment.
True.
The Duluth model is a model that law enforcement, courts, and counselors use automatically that assumes men are the aggressor. The tender years doctrine is a guideline in divorce used to justify removing the father from the child's life. The only institutional sexism that exists is institutional sexism that discriminates against men in favor of women. Furthermore, U.S. courts do not require receipts to show how that money is spent by the custodial parent unless there's overwhelming evidence of starvation, malnutrition, or severe child abuse. There are
Hold
numerous
on,
reports
pause.
of custodial
You want the
parents spending
government
the
to
money
check
on
receipts and
luxury-
see, like,
Let's let her respond to some of that.
But is the court not a government system? So, oh no, she's about to do it. She's about to do it. Here we go. Here we go.
unless there's overwhelming evidence of starvation, malnutrition, or severe child abuse. There are
Hold
numerous
on,
reports
pause.
of custodial
You want the
parents
government
spending
to
the money
check
on
receipts and
luxury-
see, like,
Let's let her respond to some of that.
hold on, let's understand something. You want government to be so big that you literally have the government looking at receipts to see what a mother is spending the money on?
The government don't got to be big to do that. You don't realize that every purchase the government makes, there's a receipt? You didn't know that? So you're telling me they can go buy weapons, have a receipt for that. They can go line by line to see how much money and break it down for each state, what they're going to give the state for, especially at times of natural disasters. But you're upset that that she wants the government to be able to allocate every dollar that they're giving out through child support. But when the receipt don't come in, then the dude gets a bench warrant. The female gets a bench warrant. They're put in arrears when they go to jail or they can't pay. You don't think they itemize that stuff? They have dates and everything. I tell you, Anna.
That's insane.
I want no child support, no alimony, 50-50.
Yeah, because you're crazy and you don't live in reality.
I want equality. I'm more of a feminist than you, Anna.
Oh shit! Here we go. Shit. Wait, Pearl. It took Pearl this long, but she started white girl rapping too. Let's get it.
This is an uppercut. It's not fucking up. I'm top 2 and definitely not the runner. I ain't got the mojo, lots of bubbles and.
She said, "I'm more of a feminist than you."
Yeah, because you're crazy and you don't live in reality.
I want equality. I'm more of a feminist than you, Anna. Because I
She
think
looked
you want to vote,
upset.
be in selective service, be on the front lines just like the men are.
Who do you think gives birth to and raises those soldiers?
Whoa! Don't do that, Anna. Come on now. So the man had nothing to do with it. You see what she's doing? She's acting like a third wave feminist again. Let's go.
What does that have to do with anything?
Because you assert that women shouldn't be allowed to vote because they're not all in mandatory military service.
I say be equal. You want to vote, do what the men do. Men are fined
Should women be included in combat?
Men
Should women
are
be included in combat?
Yes.
Okay.
Do what the men
fair,
do.
Fair.
Do what the men do.
Yeah, fair. Agreed. Next. Next? Nothing? Okay. I want to know what your ideal woman is, because if you are a traditional conservative woman who's married, staying at home, raising kids, you trash them.
There's no such thing as a traditional woman. They cannot be traditional in 2025 because women will always have the leverage.
What does that mean? What does it mean that women will always have the leverage?
women have child support to fall back on, women have alimony. So automatically
10% of divorces end with alimony settlements.
and
10%.
And they go.
You just ignore the stat.
Because it's used under the guise of child support, madam. And you've seen this. The courts add the alimony to the child support. You know that. That's why the amounts are exorbitant. You know that. That's why anytime you go to a lawyer and you say you want to separate the alimony from the child support, they laugh at you. Because that's cutting into their fees. Because they have to go into court with that. That's a separate matter. They want it all encompassing under one roof to limit the paperwork. You know that. Come on, Anna. You live in California where you see this every day with celebrities. You know what? That's what it is. She is blinded by them celebrities in Hollywood. That's what it is. Most of them who are in marriages where they don't work and the husband or their wife is making all the money, making the millions, and they're just sitting home. She believes that not only should she get a payout because she was in that marriage, but she should get a payout for them kids. So now she's getting 2 paychecks when she didn't have any. They want to split 1 paycheck into 2. Nasty word.
They
So
go
just
from
move
men
on.
to women. They go from men to women. Billions of dollars every
I
year.
thought you said earlier that
Billions
women
of
are paying
dollars of-
alimony.
Billions of dollars of wealth every year is transferred from men to women. Through
Based on what? Where are you
through
getting that
family
information
court.
from? You're just making it up?
Look, we have it. We're excited. We can get it to you at the end. You
Who's
didn't want to
we?
submit. Where are your sources? You didn't want to submit them ahead of time. You did.
The Census Bureau, Bureau of Labor Statistics. I cited everything I mentioned.
Uh-oh.
Pearl,
We getting there.
the main thing I want people to understand, okay? Pearl's gonna trash women no matter what. That's fine.
I'm not trashing
But my
them.
biggest gripe with you is you're discouraging people from entering marriages.
I don't tell men what to do.
Ma'am,
You advise men to avoid.
ma'am, you literally had an entire YouTube platform dedicated to telling men what to do. Don't do that. Let's not do that. You literally had a panel sitting around talking about what men should be doing. You literally had females telling men what to do. We not finna do that. And don't worry, fam, we're getting to the part. We're getting there.
Marriage.
Sell me on marriage. What do men get out of marriage?
That's sad. It's sad that people think that. It really is. You get a partner, you get a teammate, you get to build a life together, and it's beautiful.
Pearl, how could you ask that question knowing you came out of a household with a marriage? That's insane. I think she's still stung that that black dude got rid of her and he went off with that other white chick and he happy.
I feel like misery loves company in this situation.
Yes.
And how would you know what you get out of marriage if you haven't experienced marriage in the first place? I'm not saying that as a personal attack. I really.
Woo! I'm off code, but we gotta play it.
I told you punk ass niggas to get off the motherfucking timeline and rap. That's the problem. You niggas be crying. You niggas be bitching. You niggas need to fucking rap. When you can't nobody else come up here if they not rapping like that. Stay your punk ass at home.
Bruh. Anna's fighting back. Let's get it. She looks so defeated, fam. Wallow J, you didn't know that? You didn't know she had the black dude? Yeah, she had that black dude when she was over there in the UK. She was loving on him, everything. They broke up. He got another white girl. He happy as hell. And that began the downfall. So for those who don't know, a lot of her anti-black content was off the fact that the black guy got rid of her.
Hope that Pearl meets the love of her life and gets married. It's not about that. But you trash it without really understanding what the benefits are.
Why do we have phrases like it's cheaper to keep her?
Man. It's a joke. But go ahead.
Pearl,
answer the question.
Divorce is expensive. And by the way, on purpose to discourage people from getting divorced in the first place.
Thank you. Well, it's a joke. And yes, divorce is expensive. Why is your president trying to float an idea to have people get married and give them money? Why have other countries done that? Japan has done that. China has done that. India has done that. The UK has done that. They want people to marry because the resources now have a price tag. And without said resources, the human population would start to decline. So they're encouraging people to have children and get married so they can boost the numbers, so they can get said resources. That's why people say marriage is transactional. You're getting something out of it. You know this. I'm sorry. I'm going to let him say it.
We know this. The Chinese know that we know. But we make believe that we don't know, and the Chinese make believe that they believe that we don't know, but know that we know. Everybody knows.
Why do we have phrases like happy wife, happy life?
Because it's true. Same with happy husband, happy life. I don't want to come home to an angry husband.
But that's not a phrase.
Do you have any other like catchphrase or slogan you want to throw at me?
What do men get out of marriage?
They get a partner
that gains 25 pounds in the first 5 years.
Men get pretty fat too.
My old lady didn't gain 25 pounds. What is she talking about? And look at that smile, bruh. Oh. By the way, Pearl's about to be 30 this year. Yeah. Yeah. I might as well. Them ovaries are starting to shrink. She better start patrolling those NBA games and them NFL sidelines. But she should wear makeup. By the way, she's wearing makeup here. And we'll prove it later.
I don't know if you've done a comparative analysis on that. They actually end up gaining more weight than their wives do. And who cares?
Men.
I mean, have a conversation with your partner. Encourage her.
How can men and women be equal?
Especially if she's giving you children.
How can men and women be equal when one is expected to die for the other?
I don't expect anyone to die for anyone else. I don't know what that even comes from.
Yeah, but men are willing to die for you every day. The men in the police force, the men in the military.
What about the women in the police force?
They're 10% and they cause so many problems.
Who cares what percentage women make up of the police force? They're in the police force. My sister-in-law's a cop, actually.
They can't do the same jobs. There's videos on the internet everywhere of women getting their guns taken because they're not strong enough.
Are you just making things?
No, they get their guns taken because they make decisions that are bad. It's not because they're strong enough. They're not strong enough. What is she talking about? Okay. All right. Okay. By the way, Pearl, I've seen women cops throw hands with men and actually hold their own. I've seen women in the military throw hands and stand tall with men. Y'all are not giving women enough credit, but you want to fight For all right, you got it. You just say you more of a feminist than she is. You just downgraded women. Some feminists you are. Oh, by the way, family, we finally got to the point.
So,
there it is.
what are you doing? Like, seriously. Next question.
Do you realize how good you have it in this country?
Absolutely. Best country in the world.
Pearl. Why?
What are you talking about?
Just don't freeze when you see her.
You froze. Oh my God, no, you shouldn't have done that. This will live forever.
Do you realize how good you have it in this country?
Absolutely. Best country in the world.
And you get the life to live the life you live at the expense of men.
No, that's not true.
That is true.
Show me how.
Do you know how many men die every year?
I could show you how without Cenk you would be useless.
You want some more?
I think we have more. Without your uncle, as I said, nobody would know you. You'd be a regular office girl.
You want some more?
We might have more. Without your uncle, you might have still been in Armenia, dodging missiles.
You want some more?
We might have more. Without men, you wouldn't be sitting up here talking about how happy you are in your marriage with your couch surfing husband, who now I think has a career.
You want some more?
We might have more. And the women are going to get pissed off at me after I say this. But without men, you don't have feminism.
You want some more?
We might have more. Without men, you wouldn't have gotten the opportunities on TV that you have gotten over the years, because I'm pretty sure it wasn't a woman that were, for the most part, emailing you, telling you to come on and talk on CNN and MSNBC.
You want some more?
We might have more. Without men, you wouldn't be on that stage right now. Yes, men created that atmosphere that you're in right now.
You want some more?
We might have more. Without Gavin McInnes and Sam Tripoli, who really did this for a grift because their names are in the dirt now. They flew your stupid ass 3,000 miles from LA to Atlantic City to do this. I'm sure you had 2 male pilots that got you there safely.
You want some more?
We might have more. Guess what? I'm sure it's a man that ran the company who's overseeing the seamstresses in the sweatshop that created that outfit that probably cost about 4 bands.
You want some more? Do you? All right, bim, bam, boom. Somebody get this nigga out of my way.
But men bad.
There are men that die every year to get you crab.
How many women die every year during childbirth?
Not many.
This country has the highest maternal mortality rate of any developed country. So a lot of women do die as a result of pregnancy and childbirth. Yes.
Why are you bringing up points that you didn't research, you can't counter? Oh my God. And you see why we tell y'all the right wing cannot debate. We tell y'all this all the time. You just got another fascinating example. They can't debate for shit. Nothing? She froze again. Pearl, come on, dude.
Just don't freeze when you see her.
You're freezing. We will show you why later. Come on painful, now. Man. This is painful. Do
you have any other questions for me?
Are we ending this early?
All right.
Oh, she got more.
Should I move on? Like, what are we doing now?
Can I ask a couple questions?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, let's just jump in here. So why don't we do this? I'll ask you one and then I'll ask you one and we'll kind of go back and forth.
Oh, they had to have a man jump in. Ain't we great, man? Flex your muscles.
I kind of half jokingly said at the beginning, like Pearl had mentioned, I think you actually said it here too, that you believe you may be more of a feminist. Do you consider yourself to be a feminist, and how would you define that?
I don't consider myself to be a feminist, mainly because it's a loaded word, and there are certain outcomes from certain waves of feminism that I don't agree with, particularly minimizing the importance of men in society. I do think that there is, especially the third wave of feminism that's done that. I personally really value masculine men, and I don't appreciate feminists speaking on behalf of all women in regard to what women prefer. I think the Me Too movement started off as a legitimate grievance with women who were legitimately abused, and it devolved into something laughable and ridiculous, especially when, someone like Aziz Ansari gets accused of being like some sort of sexual predator when he clearly wasn't. So I just don't like how loaded that word is. What I actually genuinely want is equality among the sexes. I'm not looking for women to have an upper hand over men at all. But evolved into something as a lick of all women. Personally, I think that there is. I don't consider myself to be a feminist, mainly because it's a loaded word, and there are certain outcomes from certain waves of feminism that I don't agree with.
Anna, I'm glad you said that. So glad you said that. You definitely, I know why you said it like that. I do. This was like a throwaway. You knew that Pearl was cooked, so you're just gonna make yourself look good. Madam, so why did you tell Pastor Manning, the one who said Obama's the long-legged Mac Daddy? Why did you go off on him? Because he said you were ignorant, and try to define yourself talking about you got magnificent breasts. That's something a feminist would say. Oh, you don't believe me? I figured you didn't.
Let me go here. There's a growing concern.
There you go. It's right here. Now, Pastor Manning, I hope I led you not into temptation. Kasparian jokes in the episode of The Point where she addresses him. But apparently you really enjoy my magnificent breasts because you keep mentioning them over and over again in that clip. And what I found fascinating was that he was willing to let it go when it came to the criticisms Chang made about him. But when a woman criticized him, he said, oh, hell no, you're just a twit and you're known for your boobs and not your brain. Anna, that was the long-standing report on you when you first came out, that you were a blithering idiot, even though you have a political science degree. They thought you were a blithering idiot that was acting like a feminist the whole time. And over the past year, we saw you try to go right wing to try to, at your, I don't know how, I think you're like near 50, to try to balance out the fact that you're a raging feminist. It's okay. Kasparian says that her strong argument-oriented feminism was definitely something that developed over time as a result of the way opinionated, well-spoken women are treated. For example, she says that it took her at least 3 years to become comfortable enough to present her arguments in an unreserved, passionate way, because there's this pushback against women who get a little too vocal, who get a little too passionate when they're making their arguments, Kasparian said. This is the same chick who said that Ray Rice should be in jail for what he did with his old lady. Before the video came out, after the video came out, and during the discourse when the video came out. She said the NFL was correct, that he should have lost his job. And even when presented with the woman, his wife, hitting him first, she said something to the effect that he deserved it. Oh, she's 39? Even worse. But you're right, Anna. You're not a feminist. Ah. Okay.
Get to work! Particularly minimizing the importance of men in society. I do think that there is, especially the third wave of feminism that's done that. I personally really value masculine men, and I don't appreciate feminists speaking on behalf of all women in regard to what women prefer. I think the Me Too movement started off as a legitimate grievance with women who were legitimately abused, and it devolved into something laughable and ridiculous, especially when, someone like Aziz Ansari gets accused of being like some sort of sexual predator when he clearly wasn't. So I just don't like how loaded that word is. What I actually genuinely want is equality among the sexes. I'm not looking for women to have an upper hand over men at all. But we need to be based in reality, and we need to look at the statistics and figure out what's really going on. If men are getting a raw deal as a result of divorces, then yeah, the laws need to change. And I genuinely thought prior to this debate that they were getting the raw end of the deal. But as I researched this, I realized I was believing in outdated myths. So, yeah.
Pearl, let me ask you this. Do you believe and obviously you are citing a lot of anecdotal stories. I do think it's fair to point out every anecdotal story is someone's story, right? So they're not
Sharp
fake
like a
stories, they're not
razor to
meaningless.
blood
Obviously,
clot.
for people who live those realities, in a lot of cases, they're very painful. Because of your platform, you speak to a lot of those people. How much is that informing where you're coming from in this debate is the real stories of people who have been hurt by this stuff?
I mean, I've interviewed 1,000 people. I interviewed a guy who had his kid transitioned and there was nothing he could do about it. I interviewed another guy and he spent $300,000 trying to get his kid back. He actually went overseas to Ukraine during the war, just trying to be in his kid's life. So yeah, it impacts it a lot. Yeah, I've interviewed so many men that want nothing more than to just be a dad and see their kid. They don't even care about the money.
So you should have just did a documentary and showed all that. There would have been the empirical anecdotal evidence for Anna, but Anna not that bright, but that's okay.
Want to see their children. And if you ask Anna, it doesn't exist, but if you ask any man, everybody knows somebody that it's happened to. And commentators can, they can try to minimize it. They can talk from their ivory towers and pretend it's not happening, but there's a genocide of millions of men that's going on in this country.
You use
a genocide?
1.6 million men commit suicide. Have committed.
Pearl? Suicide is not genocide. We're not going to do this. I understand they have CIDE at the end of both of their words. It does not mean that they're the same. You know what a genocide is. If you were going to try to correlate both of those together, you should have said self-genocide. Unless you're about to argue that the American justice system is causing this genocide, please don't bring that word up again.
And pretend it's not happening, but there's a genocide of millions of men that's going on in this country.
You use
a genocide?
1.6 million men commit suicide, have committed suicide since 1970.
Similar rates of women also attempt suicide, but fail because they usually don't resort to more violent means of ending their own lives.
Right,
So they'll take
why,
pills.
Why is it that every time we bring up men, you have to bring up women.
Because we're doing a comparative analysis here. You can't just throw out statistics without comparing it to what the rates are among women.
What I'm pointing out is, I just pointed out that by 2050, more men will have committed suicide than all of the world wars combined. And your first response was, well, women commit suicide too.
Because it is a problem that is inflicting both sexes in this country. It is a tragedy and should be taken seriously rather than this weird sex war.
But it's not going to be taken seriously when you pretend it's not going on.
It is going on. Are you kidding me? I mean, how many of our soldiers, our veterans, come back to the United States after multiple deployments, do not get treatment or help with PTSD and other mental issues as a result of being deployed multiple times?
Right.
Like, that's a real problem. How come you don't talk about that?
Yeah, but
you
they
blame it on marriage.
What she did though. But she literally just did when she highlighted that veteran. You know, I still say that was wrong. You shouldn't put his story out there like that, but maybe he gave her permission. Fine. But that there's somebody's in the room right now. You could have asked. She told you he was thinking of committing suicide. You could have just asked that man. But I get it. Go ahead.
Soldiers come home to an empty house.
You think that
and they wife on top of another dude, but you know, you didn't want to put that out there.
Divorce is the reason for most of these suicides.
Men are 9 times more likely to commit suicide after
How many
a
more
divorce.
times likely are women to commit suicide after a divorce?
What about the women?
Why would she argue for that if she's arguing for men? You're supposed to put that out there. These two really don't know how to debate, right? But okay, go ahead.
You don't know the number, right? Because you didn't even care to look into it.
What about the women, though? That's always what you go to. And that's kind of what I'm trying to point out is feminists don't care about male issues. They don't. They do not care about equality. Because whenever you ask them for real equality.
So that includes you, because you said you were more of a feminist than her. So you really don't care about men's issues. See? You see how you catch them? That's how you catch them. This is why you don't say ad hominem statements like that. It will come back to bite you. Pearl, we've shown in the past how you don't care about men's issues. You just did it because you knew men were going to gravitate towards you and give you money. That's why you had mediocre tutorial and reviews in here. That's why you had King Riches in your stable. And that's why you were glomming money off them and their audiences. Because you knew you couldn't speak about men's issues. You needed men to do it. That's why you grifted off Kevin Samuels. Then you trashed him when he died. You went and talked to Obsidian. Obsidian lost a big majority of his audience. And you gained some. Well, go ahead. Keep going.
Pearl, my point is that suicide is not just a male issue. It is a huge problem in this country. Women who try to end their own lives are less successful because, again, they're less likely to use a gun, for instance, or hang themselves. They'll take pills, it'll fail. It's just a tragic thing all around. But if you actually care about suicide rates, then you would want to know what's causing the suicide rates or the attempts at suicide.
Divorce.
What can we do as a society to help people to prevent that from happening? And you wouldn't make it specifically and solely an issue that inflicts one sex over the other.
Again, I mean, you're just proving my point because we talk about male issues, you keep bringing it back to the women.
I just want you to compare the stats you're spewing right now with something to compare it to.
Okay. Do you think that women should be on the front lines of the military like the men?
If they can pass the physical test necessary to do so, yeah.
Do you think women should be in selective service like the men?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, and they should be on the front lines as infantrymen?
If they are physically capable of doing it, yes.
Okay, so no.
I have to give it to her, Anna. She did catch you because she kept saying the front line. Listen again.
Like the men?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, and they should be on the front lines as infantrymen?
If they are physically capable of doing it, yes.
Okay, so no.
Anna, you did get caught because you agreed earlier they should be on the front line with men. You just said that. Now you want to qualify it as long as they're physically capable. Not every man on the front line is physically capable. See how that works?
So you want to put people who aren't physically, I mean, obese men wouldn't be put on the front lines.
Bullshit. If it was a draft, yes, they would be. Bullshit.
Do you think women should be jailed for false accusations?
Depends on what
You
the
have
false
obese cops on the front line. You have obese EMTs on the front line. You have obese firefighters on the front line. You have obese civil service workers on the front line. You have obese FBI agents, CIA agents. They're expected, if there's an explosion in DC, they're expected to run and be on the front line protecting folk. We're not going to do that, Anna. Because the second you see an obese, I'm sorry, not obese, obese female on the front line, you know the internet is going to crack on them. You know that.
accusations are. If
Just
she's
yes or
falsely
no?
accusing someone of rape, for
Just
instance,
or no?
yes.
Just okay. Thank you. I agree. Do you think that child custody should be 50-50?
As long as the court determines that both parents are capable of being caretakers, yes. In
Why
fact,
do you need
that's
the
the
court?
ideal situation.
Why do you need the court? You could do that in a law office. You don't need the court. Anna's showing us how much of a feminist she is. Why do you need the court? You two can literally come up with a contract and file it. Done.
Okay, so yes.
Yes.
All right, do you believe in alimony?
I believe in alimony in specific cases where the woman decided to forego having a career and working, decided to stay home and raise the kids. In those cases, I believe she deserves alimony, yes.
But
any woman can say that.
It's a privilege.
You're ridiculous. Anyway,
that's
next, move on.
You said it's ridiculous.
It's
that
ridiculous,
it's a privilege
especially
to stay home with
especially
your
coming from a girl who grew up in an affluent situation with incredibly wealthy parents. You don't know anything about struggling economically or financially. So to tell a single mother who decided to stay home and raise her children instead of work that she doesn't deserve a penny to raise her kids after a divorce is the most privileged piece of shit thing to say.
This is
This is an uppercut. It's not fuck 'em up. I'm top 2 and definitely not the runner. I ain't got the mojo, lots of bubbles.
You know how long I've been waiting for this? Woo, I'm about to make a name for myself here.
My God. You have a woman who comes from immigrant stock versus a chick who comes from immigrant stock. They got that, what we gonna call this? That passport on passport violence. And we love it. Passport on passport violence.
This is the type of nagging that drives men to suicide.
Good.
Damn.
But I'm married and you're not, so
Wow.
next.
Jesus Christ. I get it.
This is the type of nagging that drives men to suicide. All right, Pearl, I see you.
This is how real it is to The Rock. Chills. This is how real it is to The Rock.
This is an uppercut. It's not fuck 'em up. I'm top 2 and definitely not the runner. I ain't got the mojo, lots of bubbles and
Yeah, I hear a white girl rapping. Let's get it. And it took this long for them to start getting at each other. Jesus. Look at Anna's face, bruh. Look at Pearl, bruh. Can we put Pearl in the Rocky Dennis remake? Can we do that? Don't MAGA love gender swap shit. She froze again on her own joke.
Only fans girl, right?
Oh shit!
A little harder to debate someone who's not an only fans girl, right?
Oh shit!
I prayed for this and it happened.
Oh my God, Pearl. How are you sitting here getting cooked?
Oh, look at this. Look at this. It's perfect.
Oh my gosh.
Never. I don't need to.
You say
Not
that now.
I'm judging.
It's why isn't paternity fraud illegal?
Wait a minute. She said you don't have the intellect to debate me and you just go to the next thing. You should have said at least my ovaries are still around. Damn.
We've been over this already.
It's estimated 6% of men are fathering children that are not theirs.
I don't really believe your stats. Like,
the
where are you getting
American
that
Blood
stat
Bank
from?
Association. Are you happy?
Ooh.
Okay.
1/3 of
That's
paternity
wrong. And
tests.
yeah, there should be consequences for that.
But there aren't.
Okay.
But there are. Where
and there
have the
should be.
feminists
So we agree
been?
on that. Next.
Right? You can agree, but you haven't covered it. And that's my point. Is you guys don't care about equality. You want freedom at the expense of men.
Okay, sure. Next.
Do you think that men should have the right to opt out of fatherhood, since women have the right to opt out of motherhood?
No. Put a condom on.
Pearl, you lied. Pearl, you lied. So they both are liars, but we can expect this much from non-black women. In a forum where they got paid. You have been paid to lie.
Men.
Okay, sure.
You guys don't care about equality. You want freedom at the expense of men.
Okay, sure. Next.
Do you think that men should have the right to opt out of fatherhood, since women have the right to opt out of motherhood?
No. Put a condom on.
Put a condom on.
You don't want to have children, put a condom on.
Or require.
Okay, and yeah, and then if she would have said that to me on stage and I was being a dick that day and I said, well, you should have just swallowed, what do you think would have happened to me? I want the ladies in the chat to answer that question for me. If I was debating her, right, I was doing the playback, and y'all didn't know I said this, and she would have said, you should have just put a condom on, and I said, well, then you should have just swallowed. What do you think would have happened to me? Yes, Pearl is broke because, remember, she lost her whole platform when all of them started peeling off. You said sounds equal to me. And it would have been more fucked up because she ain't got kids. But if y'all go look up Anna Kasparian and Pearl and go down the list on DuckDuckGo, that's all they were talking about. Either she freezing or what we're going to show you later. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to hint it. If I started saying you should have been like Akinyele, yeah. Or I would have been raked over the coals. She'd have got her empirical data of what would happen to a man who went after a woman. But all right.
Hire him to wear a condom. That's equal.
Yeah.
That choice is equally irresponsible.
He's the one with the Johnson. He gets to decide what he does with it.
You have a pussy. You get to decide what to do with it. And I don't think one woman in here is going to tell me that I'm wrong for saying that. See, when you don't spread your legs and I try to use my Johnson and force it in you, that's called rape. I go to jail. I become a sex offender. Yeah, Anna, let's talk real. You can close your legs. Just like you opened your legs for your husband many a time. And you probably pushed him off when he was about to finish. Unless you're going to tell us that you wear condoms in your marriage.
I think I'm more of a feminist than you.
Sure.
He said it again.
Congratulations.
Oh, by the way, sorry. Pearl, you lied. We have to show this.
You know, let me go here. There's a growing concern.
I looked up that point she said. 6% of men are raising kids that are not theirs. It says research indicates that the actual percentage of men unknowingly raising children who are not their biological offspring is much lower, around 2% based on recent studies. The figure of 60% may stem from outdated or inaccurate data. That's from healthyday.com. And we can go further. The highest rates of non-paternity were found in specific populations such as men from Mexico, where the rate was just over 8%. It says nothing about America, but okay. You should have been more specific, Pearl.
Get to work!
This is the longest 30 minutes of my life.
You'll find out why later.
Okay, I'm going to interject again if I can.
All right.
No, I was kidding. So one thing that I do think is happening.
Okay, we don't care. The debate is over. They have like another 4 minutes. I think he was just talking. Yeah, that's it. Wait, there's more? I don't care. Okay, I don't give a shit. Yeah, we've got to go there now. Pearl responded to her performance at this debate. Yeah.
You know, let me go here. There's a growing concern.
So that's her. Remember what I said that she was wearing makeup that night? Yeah, that's her without the makeup. You can't tell, can you? Huh. But anyway, it says, I took an L, but Anna nagged men out of marriage anyways. Because men are going to listen to Anna Kasparian. Sure. How feminist of you. Let's see what she says. And she's going to reveal things in here that she shouldn't have revealed. But this just goes to show you how incredibly unintellectual Pearl Davis really is. This is why we call her just Proler things.
Even though I had it, and I'm going to actually show this again.
Show it again.
And I realized the solution to this to me in the future is we're building a website now, but I just got a donation and I have to figure out if I'm going to put it towards the documentary or the website, because we got to fix both.
And I think documentaries going first. I realized that
just don't freeze.
How are you freezing on your own stream? What are we doing?
I just need to have them all on my website because here, let me show you. So at the bottom, wait, let me find. Oh, wait, this is the wrong one. This was my.
Okay, she tried it. Fam, what you're seeing here is this was her notes for that debate. By the way, and she'll reveal this later, she didn't come up with any of these notes. This was her team. As you can see here on the bottom, I have 3 people. We are understaffed. You're telling me you had 4 people, including yourself, get you ready for a debate and you froze 3 times. Now y'all are probably wondering why all her talking points sound very robotic. She didn't write this. When you write your own talking points, you can hear the passion in somebody's voice because they believe in what they've researched.
So at the bottom, wait, let me find. Oh, wait, this is the wrong one. This was my, that's my outline for the show today. Hold on.
You're a lie.
At the bottom. Look at quotes from books, quotes from A World Without Men. Where's Works Cited? Works Cited. I printed these. I had a historian. I paid a historian to go through my works cited, someone that does that for a living.
And you still lost? Three people, her, a historian, hundreds of dollars, time, that Quaker outfit, the shoes, the alleged makeup, the hotel room, your food, your feminine products. You did all that. And after all of that, she lost. And at least you admitted that you lost. This is embarrassing. I'm not even going to play this stream. I'm not even going to do that. We're just going to go get the clips. Because I don't want to sit here and try to figure out when she said. So here's one clip. Now, let's see what this is.
I thought about it. I'm like,
she froze again.
You can talk like this to men. But I'm bigger than you. I could body you. Do you know what I mean? I'm like,
yeah, come at me. Come at me right now. Come at me and come at me.
I thought about it.
So for those who don't know, she threatened bodily harm on Anna Kasparian because she was getting cooked. That sounds very ghetto now, doesn't it? So here, I took the debate, because I need money. They paid her nicely. We are struggling. Things we want to get. We are about to pick a documentary team this month. I would love 2 full-time editors. Ma'am, we saw the money. Remember, she revealed how much money she made a couple years ago when she had everybody under her umbrella. What did you do with that money? You have no money for this team. You had a team over there. Oh, that demonetization didn't work, huh? And you figured that X doesn't pay that much. She figured it out. What else you got? I wanted to submit our sources ahead of time. I was scared. This is what it says. I hate crowds. Let me see if I can we zoom this in? Let me see if we can zoom this in. Probably not. Because it's oh shit, we can. Oh, this might be fun. Here we go. AI is still dangerous, by the way. I wanted to submit sources ahead of time. I was scared. I hate crowds. I hate public speaking. Counterintuitive. Counterintuitive. She's pissing me off. So allegedly, according to vidIQ, she making $23,000 to $69,000 a month. That's a rough range. You're telling me you can't, that's $500,000 a year in the middle. You telling me you ain't got this money. You don't like speaking live. You don't like speaking in a crowd. But you knew that, but the money was too good of an incentive to go out there and embarrass yourself. Okay, good to know. I hate being assertive. But you did that when you had those grifters with you. Oh, okay. You try to be assertive online when you're trying to cook people. You were real assertive when you said 16-year-olds look hotter than 26-year-olds. You were real assertive because you stood on it. Okay. I do these annoying nervous laughs. I wish I could stop. My body language. I hate mean people. I think there are better people than me to do debates, but you took it for the money. Debates can go personal and emotional insults can be thrown. Feelings can get hurt, and I'm not that kind of person. It's contrary to my nature. Yet you insulted Anna, but you were cool with it because you got claps. Okay. Someone has to do it, so I took it.
Why do you feel a necessity to insult people?
Again.
Is that
where's the script? Where's the script? Read the script.
Is this a big defensive thing that you've got?
Read the script.
Why don't you read your own script?
I prepped for 2 weeks. You may not believe me. You couldn't have prepped for 2 weeks. Cut down. You mean mow down? Statistics. I lost. Where I went wrong, I learned too much and brought too many stats. I need canned responses to her being a bitch. I learned and I prevail. There were, I don't know what that is. There were parts where I cooked. I had too many papers in front of me. Anna was controlling the framing, and you accepted the framing. So you didn't get prepped. When you get prepped for a debate, that's one thing we teach you. Do not let them get into a situation where you have to always be defensive. I spread myself too thin. I have so much respect for full-time debaters. She has a machine. I have three people we are understaffed. Okay. This is the lie she's telling. All right. Somebody said they paid her. Low-key a good investment. This is the funniest debate I've seen in years. How the F did Grace come out of nowhere and start A-logging Pearl like a goddamn veteran? What the F is going on here? She said, I was at that debate in person, and when no one was covering it, I saw my chance. You have been posting about Pearl so much lately. You seem a little obsessed, and it's weird. I promise you, everyone in that sphere does debates for money. That's why they don't ever debate smaller influencers. Duh. Maybe go touch some grass and let Pearl take her L in peace. Pearl is a gold mine. I'll post about her until I'm good and done. I guess this motherfucker doesn't know 2 years ago, Pearl was a fucking gold. Well, 3 years ago, Pearl was a gold mine for content. But okay. Straight from her stream. Shouldn't be married. Shouldn't she be married in the kitchen cooking and not speaking? Isn't that what she advocated for? Pearl repeated all the same lines she's been using for 4 years. She has no new arguments. She hasn't grown at all as a debater. She's not a debater. She just admitted it. Oh, there go little Miss Half Self-Hate. There she go. Yeah, she got in on it. I'm not playing her stupid ass stream. Understaffed, aka she can't afford to exploit blacks anymore, but she sure can get stuff with BBC. All right, do you think? And it goes on and on and on. So, you know, we'll be nice. We'll let y'all make fun of her. And then I'm getting out of here. I think I want a cheesesteak. That was sad. I can't believe it. She took it for money and got embarrassed and exposed. The historian, I'm glad you didn't say their name because they'd lose all credibility. Yes, sir.
You all right, man?
I'm fine.
That was just, oh my goodness gracious. That was just diabolical what Anna did to her. Damn, man. Like, how do you freeze like that? Sorry, I'm at work too. So how do you freeze like that in a debate that you basically got paid? How much money did she get paid? Did she disclose that?
If I had to guess, probably a few thousand.
You got paid.
This whole platform is a brand new platform, so I know they ain't got enough money.
Yeah, I don't understand why you go out there and not have your stuff ready. Like you said, they can't debate. I would love for that platform to debate some of them black conservatives so they can get exposed like this. Yeah, I know it.
Them black conservatives will never do that.
I know they won't. I'm just saying, I wish they would do it, because if they did do it, they get exposed how stupid they actually are.
You got to remember, too, these black conservatives will only debate people when they're trying to come in and refute things that they've said. That's not a debate. That's just you. That's like you calling in because somebody said something about you.
It's just saying the same stuff.
When Tatum went in front of the white boy, did he say anything of note?
No, he said the same thing in his videos.
Exactly. They don't know. They've never known how to debate. Every time Candace always goes to do a debate, she gets cooked. Every time.
Amron Foodle too.
He stays getting debate. He sat there in a space and got cooked by the same white boy.
When was this?
I don't remember when that was, but they would talk. He tried to say that him rowing for a D1 Ivy League school is better than the white boy playing tennis at a D2 school, and said that was more manly.
Oh, I know. Yeah, they damn well cooked this stupid ass saying that. And the crazy part about it, they keep letting him in those circles, and it's like y'all don't realize that man just don't. I don't know, man. And I think that's the only reason why they own. What's that? What is it? Woman propaganda. That's the only reason why he hangs around him, because he has a platform. That's it. That's the only reason why he hangs around you, because you got a platform. You got a big platform being stupid as hell. And I don't know why women sit up there and still go on his platform just to get cursed out by him.
Because it's exposure for their Instagram pages.
I get that, but you're on Rumble. Ain't like you're on YouTube. You're on Rumble. It makes zero. I understand what you're saying, but kid, it makes no sense.
Bruh.
What? What happened?
Oh no! I might have to pay for this. Wait a minute. I'm not gonna tell y'all what this is. I might have to pay for this. Hold on. That's my fault, family. Because I just saw somebody put a comment in the chat, and I went to go look up something. I just found something. I might have to go pay for this. Oh no!
I wish they would, SD Johnson. I wish they would.
Let me see. Maybe I could get him for free. Maybe.
Is it somebody that we know about?
Yeah.
Give me a hint.
No.
Damn you.
No. Because if I could get it, I don't want to Iggy it that I can play it and then I can't play it.
Hopefully you can play the recording.
Hold on, let me see. All right, but anything else?
No, that's pretty much it. So I appreciate your dedication to excellence.
Yeah, I'm trying. All right, that was Wallow J.
Who cares? But yeah, I feel absolutely nothing for them.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw the comment that I had left earlier, like when you was going to the chat, when you was like, "Oh my God, there's more," and you left out. That was the part. I wish you would have played at least the part right before they allow Anna and Pearl to have their closing arguments, because that's the part right there where Anna called Pearl a B.
Oh, we can play that. I still got it loaded. We can play that.
And it's right before they did the closing arguments. It's something about what Pearl had told her. She said, "All you do is talk for a living," and Anna looked at her. It's like, B, what are you talking about? So I forgot exactly what she said, but it's like she contradicted herself, because I'm like, Pearl, that's what you do for a living, but you just talk a bunch of nonsense.
Let me see. Maybe it's here. Let me see.
With more women participating in the workforce, it's hard to argue.
It's right before the closing arguments.
Women should get paid alimony when they have their own
closing
income.
Arguments
so yeah,
in the background, and that'll let you know. Because when Anna called her a B, that's when they decided, okay, we're gonna do the closing arguments, because they was like, okay, now it's getting to the point where now you're calling people out their names. So
is it this?
Keep going, it'll say closing arguments on the back of this. Okay, go back a little bit. It's right before the closing arguments.
Oh, right here. Was it Anna's closing?
Anna's called her a B, and then that's when they stopped it and then went to the closing argument. So it's right before closing statements happens.
All right, let's see. So
I can't remember the exact timestamp when it happened.
To them, they prefer lower pay, lower workload, and higher job security. Feminism has empowered women to go to college and take out loans they can't afford for career paths that will not generate them income to pay off those loans.
Men have higher debt than women.
Right, because
do.
Women put their biggest expenses on their husband's credit card.
According to Kasparian, and they look and
Women are
account for those
85%.
factors
Women
that
are
you just
85%
mentioned.
of women are
Hold on.
85% of consumer spending. We lead when it comes to luxury brands.
Men have more mortgage debt, car loan debt, personal credit card debt,
Right, because they're
personal
expected,
loan
they're
debt.
expected to provide. Women make 80% of consumer buying decisions. Again, if feminists really cared about equality, they would provide for the men.
They would what
Where's,
for the men?
where's king
Sorry, I missed
treatment,
that.
fellas?
Sorry, can you
If
repeat that?
feminists cared about equality, they would provide for the men. But yet, that is a small minority of women.
Wait, so let me get this straight. Honestly, your whole shtick is women should bend over backwards and do everything they can for men. My argument.
I'm an
my
egalitarianist.
Hold on, my argument is that men and women are both tremendously important to a functioning society. They should both be treated with respect. They both serve different jobs, different roles, and in order for society to work, we have to respect that.
Women are
but
not-
you
the
seem
women are
to
not-
put the onus and responsibility of everything onto women while providing cover for the bad behavior of men.
Women are not equally important because they don't do the equal
Men
work.
are equally important.
Women
I
are
never
not
said that they
equally,
weren't.
women are not equally important because they don't do the equal amount of work. Men have invented the majority of the inventions. Men have
Really?
started
Yeah.
Fortune 500 companies. Men do the majority of the infrastructure job. Men produce 90% of
Who's scrubbing the toilets
80%
after
of the
work?
food supply, 90% of the world's stuff.
Who's changing the diapers?
Not
Who's-
women.
who's
not women.
raising
They're
the
not having
children
kids. Women,
after
women aren't
working
having kids.
all
So
day
women
long?
aren't doing it. Daycare workers now, to be honest. It's not the moms.
Not everyone grew up in an affluent household like you. They need a dual income household in order to make ends meet in this economy.
Anna, you
live
talk.
in reality for
Anna,
one day
you
in your
talk.
life.
Anna, you talk for a living. It's kind
I
of
do.
rich for you to come at me.
What, bitch? What do you do for a living?
I also.
That's the part right there. And after that, they had to go into closing arguments when Anna called her a B.
This is an uppercut. It's not fucking rough. I'm top 2 and definitely not the runner. I ain't got the mojo, lots of bubbles and.
That's insane. All right,
But
screw
that's
it.
true. But that's true though. Like how could Pearl say all you do is solve for a living? I'm like, you do the same thing, but nothing you say makes a lick of sense. And a lot of your talking points came from elsewhere, and then you misconstrued them, and now it just sounds like I don't know what it's supposed to be.
All right.
At that point, Anna was like fed up with her. At that point, you could tell she was fed up.
Yeah, but real quick, I might as well just tell y'all. You know how SG Johnson said that them black conservatives wouldn't go see her?
Mm-hmm.
My bad. Guess who went to go see her?
Oh Lord, not forehead.
I might have to go listen. I might have to
What
go
did he
look.
do? Like, did he react to it or
No, he had an interview with her in 2024.
How
I
did
might
that
have
go?
to go listen to this. Oh no, Pearl got called a bitch. I guess that's probably why she said she was gonna go body her.
I said, oh, so you were having violent thoughts. And the fact that she put out there the Google Doc notes, what her team typed up for her before she even got on that stage, is wildly insane to me. I said, so you just want to expose yourself even more as a bigger fraud than we already took you for.
Huh. What? You got to see this.
All right, let me pull this up on screen.
And the amount of times that she clipped that debate so she could try
You
to
saw
monetize
no
as
room
much as
for
she could.
improvement. Now
Imagine
you're
trying to
just
monetize a L.
That's what Matt Nuclear did with Tariq.
I mean, I stopped
By the
talking.
way, where is he?
Maybe he got sent back to Angola. I don't know.
Like 3 minutes. You know what I mean? It just, sometimes in life you take L's.
She's taking a lot of L's.
All right,
This is what you call
so
coping,
first we're
ladies
going to
and
bring up Doug MPA.
Doug MPA.
Hey, how's it going?
Tell me about your experience. again, shout out to World War Debate. They were great, right?
Yeah. I want to thank Rob Noor for organizing that whole thing. He was fantastic. He was everywhere, involved with everything. It was great. Good job, Rob Noor, and everyone that did that whole thing. It was great. We got you to the point where you said I'm ready, and that's the best thing that a team can do. And guys, remember, all these e-girls, Anna, Candace, Brett Cooper, they've had men build them up. Like Anna wouldn't be anywhere without Jink Uger.
But she's never said that she didn't. You see, I told you they hate women. I told you they hate women.
So basically, again, like this is a fanboy right here. He gonna come up here and stroke her ego.
Oh yeah. Oh, we found the channel. There's his channel. Yeah. Middle-aged women on psych meds. Oh, okay. All right. I can't for the life of me don't understand why people are not watching this content. His last video was 9 months ago. His last stream was 3 weeks ago. So
we can see why them numbers is low. He's not consistent.
And I ain't want to be talking about numbers. Some of these uploads I do, they barely get 200. But goddamn, what's going on with Lizzo? So you got on with Pearl and it didn't jump your numbers, huh? Interesting. But yeah, it's yeah. Pearl, don't ever do this again.
Yeah, she's not a debater. And I had left a comment in someone's video who talked about this. I said Anna could have been feeding Pearl a load of BS and she couldn't refute any of it because she's not a debater.
But I still don't understand how you had 4 people help you still lost.
Because she thinks that she's online. So the thing is that see, this goes back to what we said, like why they don't go outside. Because when they go outside, they have to actually step into reality. See, she's used to being on her computer behind a camera and talking that BS to people who like her. But when she steps out into an actual crowd and she has to be in face to face with someone who's a debater, she's always going to lose. And that's why when people be saying like, oh, why don't we debate this person, I'm like, I present to you Exhibit A with what happened with Pearl. Because I guarantee what happened with her or how she is exactly how the rest of them are. None of them know how to debate. Because all they come with is talking points. They don't research anything. They get sent something, they get something presented in front of them, and they take it and they run with it. And they don't do any back research, and they think they got it in the bag. But they think what it is they think because if they have people that are there who are fans of them, that's hyping them up, like those idiots that was in the crowd, like cheering her on. I'm like, y'all, this woman could have said the sky is purple, and I'm like, yeah, Pearl. Like, I'm like, oh my god, even the people who were speaking, I don't know what you call them, when they would go on a break, and they had the people, I guess they're like analysts. The only one that was up there that made sense, you didn't show that part because it was after the closing arguments, was the woman that was sitting to, well, it would have been our left, their right. The guy in the middle was basically kissing Pearl's ass the whole time, and the woman was the only one that made some sense.
That was probably Sam Tripoli.
She had dark hair?
No, the Sam Tripoli's the dude. I don't know who the chick was.
No, the guy I'm talking about, he had glasses on. He was in the middle.
Oh, that was Gavin. Which one? The dark glasses or the clear glasses?
He had glasses on. He had like dark hair.
Hold on.
He was right in the middle.
Yeah, I think that's Sam. That's Sam Tripoli. But he a fucking racist. But, yeah.
He sounds like it too.
Yeah, but you notice how it's always the chicks now they're trying to sound. They sound the most sensible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But it's okay.
I got my issues with Anna because of stuff she said, especially about us over the years.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as this so-called debate goes, this was a no-brainer for her. This was too easy. And like I said before,
and she traveled 3,000 miles to take an easy W. Bless your heart.
And I said, Pearl walk up in there still looking all frumpy. I said, okay, it's like nothing this woman puts on will ever make her look appealing.
But she could body a motherfucker.
That's what she said in her mind. That's what she wanted to do.
Body.
Because she got embarrassed, and the amount of time she glitched while she was up on that stage and making them goofy looking faces. You know how the women say they got a resting B face? She doesn't have that. She has a resting G face. G stands for ghoul.
Just polar things. Bruh.
But see, that's what she gets to, because remember recently, like when she started to try to make her reemergence, she was trying to go at, talk about black people, which I'm sure she got those talking points from somewhere else. That woman doesn't have an original thought floating in her head. Nothing.
But nothing she's ever done was original.
Yeah, whether she's being anti-black, anti-woman, pro-men, she's never had an original thought on any of the things that she's talked about since we've known about her. And she's gotten exposed time and time again, but she keeps trying to reinvent herself, quote unquote. She's gonna come back with another grift, and it won't be an original thought there too.
But I don't know what she's gonna griff off of.
I don't know either. See, this right here should be the nail in the coffin. This moment right here should be it.
The last time she talked about politics, she got thoroughly screwed. She got thoroughly schooled.
That's not her lane. As a matter of fact, I'll go on to say a lot of those conservatives over there don't know politics at all. They don't. They're getting fed talking points from people that have been lied to themselves. It's almost like that game of telephone when you was a kid. You line 10 kids up in a row. You have one kid at the end tell one kid, and by the time you're hoping that they say the same message that first kid said, but by the time it gets to the end, it's some other weird thing.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Yeah,
but that's all I really had. That's all I really had wanted to come. I just wanted you to see that part because you had skipped it.
There you go.
Watch me on what? Yeah, you got washed.
We watched and we watched that check clear.
Someone said this is embarrassing. For her it was.
And she wasn't even getting pressed that hard.
They said she had days of prep, and that's what she came up there with.
No, she had weeks.
That means she wasn't. That means she didn't take it seriously.
Oh, they brought this up. Oh, you gotta see this before you go.
She's appeared in a couple of debates on this show. It's called Uncensored After All. We welcome any honestly held opinions. But this week, she's facing a major backlash for posting a song titled "Why Can't We Talk About the Jews," which she dedicated to far-right commentator Nick Fuentes before later deleting it.
Even look at her face.
Because she didn't think he was gonna pull this up.
Can't we talk about the...
Well, ma'am, and here we are 2.5 years later, and he don't even talk about them Jews no more. So yeah.
Without getting kicked off of YouTube. Now, I'm not saying Hitler was a good guy. But I kind of want to know why.
She does sound like Nick. I admire Hitler. I admire Stalin. Why? And don't give me that they helped usher in an industrial age, because that's okay.
Yeah, they don't know. They don't know why they have the views they do.
Conspiracy theories. And the more they talk, I think maybe they're right.
Huh?
But
she's making this up on the fly. Like, listen how she's laughing as she's saying.
Well, Pearl joins me now, along with the New York author and founder of End Jew Hatred, Brooke Goldstein, over in the States. All right, Pearl.
They brought out a Goldstein.
Come on the show a couple of times. Right? We've had some spirited debates about feminism and stuff like that, and I thought you made some good points, and it's got lots of traction. Then I wake up the other day and I see this thing that's trending involving you doing this song. And
notice he said this thing that could be a double entendre. This thing referring to the song and thing referring to her.
Huh? Did you find it funny? You know why did you find it funny?
Huh?
Did you find it funny? I mean, you know the backlash to it. I mean, You deleted it. You obviously thought you shouldn't have posted it.
Mm-hmm.
Why did you do that? In a sense,
Huh?
My God.
But yes, this was a beautiful piece of tape.
Reparations, they said she looked like a homely girl on Little House on the Prairie.
Stop it.
I mean, she
She be-
kind of. I'm not even gonna lie. When I saw her in that debate, I said, if her dress was longer, she looked like she could have been on the set of Blazing Saddles.
No, she would be the. That's fucked up. No, she'd be the chick in the one episode where she was like the one of the neighbors. That was one of her daughters, one of their daughters, and she was like 6'2", and she always lamented how she can't find nothing, and then she does something stupid, almost kills herself, and then finally somebody takes a liking to her. Yeah, and then they go off, and you never see her again.
Wow. Just wow.
She ain't even using an original acoustic tune. All right, Pearl got no talent.
Yeah, she really doesn't.
But you know, she got 2 million on phase on. That motherfucker kicked me out. I didn't even touch nothing. Anyway, y'all. My bad to Torian. I don't know what happened. He probably spiked me. It's all good. Anyway, y'all. We're gonna get up out of here. That was the end of that. That was bad. Excuse me. But hopefully you learned something. If you did it, done my job. If not, I try to be better next time. We'll see you when I see you. But before we go, SD Johnson, thank you for the $10 super chat. That's a blessing. And you get this here.
I am overwhelmed.
And C. Wilson, 2012, thank you for the $5. That's a blessing. You said you had a lot. But even though you were out of line, you get this here.
I am overwhelmed.
All right, y'all. Y'all enjoy the rest of your day. Brother Torian about to do a premiere at 12 o'clock, so go over there. And make sure you hit the like. Make sure you hit the like here on this one as well. So y'all take care, stay safe, and you know what to do when the agents of chaos come to mess up your existence.
Oh, here it goes.
Time's up.
Get your ass up. We gotta get out of here now.
But did we have a good time here? Hello?
Gotta get your groove on.
At the end of the day gotta end.
that's it.